Zenitsu, one of the most likable characters in all of Demon Slayer. His realism when it comes to battle, his excessive simping, and potential to go god mode are all things that make him quite unique. Yet, as the manga progressed, we saw a more serious side of him, and personally, I thought it was great for his character. But what if it happened a bit differently? What if Zenitsu took it a step even further and placed himself among the strongest characters in the entire manga? Well, that's what we're gonna discuss today, with what could have been Zenitsu's new breathing being storm breathing. Before we get into the video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. And here's a quick sneak peek of what would happen if you do.
You press the subscribe button.
Excuse me, but what?
You sure did that.
First, we need to talk more about what Zenitsu has already done in the manga and then go further from there. In the manga, we see an almost unforgiving and relentless side of Zenitsu when he goes up against Kaigaku, a former brother in arms and a demon slayer who has become an upper moon. Although he did become like an upper moon for around like 15 minutes, right? And then that was right before Zenitsu showed up. So I don't really know. I mean, I guess it still counts. We'll give it to him. In this fight, we see the comparison of thunder breathing specialists, with Zenitsu only perfecting the first breathing form and Kaigaku knowing all of them except for the first. This fight was honestly the perfect way to show mastery in oneself, and there's no better person in the world to tell us this than Bruce Lee himself. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Zenitsu was able to beautifully demonstrate this quote, and it has been a buildup of his character since the very beginning of the manga. The very beginning. He was fearful because he could only master one breathing form, and his grandfather was the one to reassure him that his prowess in this one breathing form means so much more than just simply understanding them all.
いいんだ善逸、お前はそれでいい。一つできれば万々歳だ。一つのことしかできないならそれを極め抜け。極限の極限まで磨け。善逸、極めろ。泣いていい、逃げてもいい。ただ諦めるな。信じるんだ。
This was able to push Zenitsu to become a full-fledged demon slayer, and obviously manga spoilers, but when he learned about the death of his grandfather, this pushed him even more. But for this what if scenario to actually start, we need to take this very crucial moment of Zenitsu's and analyze it. More specifically, when did he learn about his grandfather's death? Well, we know that he received a message from a bird during the Hashira training and promptly started his training to kill Kaigaku right after. And this was during the time Tanjiro and the gang got to the final stage, which was Gyome. Now, let's take this timing and turn it back a few training stages to Sonami's training specifically, where we would see a very different situation pan out. With Zenitsu receiving the news, his quest to become hardcore and defeat Kaigaku would be revealed right in front of him, and his perfect teacher, not really a teacher but a good guide, would be none other than the Wind Hashira. While Tanjiro and Inosuke move on to the final training stage, Zenitsu stays back on purpose with Sanemi and undergoes special training. Now, this special training is quite unique, and it consists of creating a new style of breathing. But the real question is, how? So far, we've only seen different variants of sun breathing, as little different nuances and techniques that were passed down made different breathing forms, which has thus led to the creation of the 9 breathing forms we know today. And another case of breathing creation is our own boy Inosuke, and we're not sure how, but he was able to create beast breathing in order to survive in the mountains, and he has been very proficient in the use of it throughout the series. I gotta give it to him. The boy's been great. He's killing it. But for Zenitsu specifically, in order to create storm breathing, we need to break down the two main components of said breathing style and analyze what they would do for each user. And those two components are thunder breathing and wind breathing. Wind breathing is known to be purely offensive, with sharp razor-like attacks that can manipulate wind and use rotating movements as well, which basically means that wind breathing has a great amount of range. Now, let's shift to thunder breathing. Thunder breathing is known to be immeasurably quick, and according to Zenitsu, focuses on the strength of your legs and utilizing every single cell to focus with all of your might. If we take these two breathing styles and combine them together, their result is something crazy. The result would be storm breathing, with focuses on manipulation of vibrations in the air, and can be used for offensive attacks that vary in both range and speed. And to explain it in more simpler terms, it's OP as fuck. Just so that we can compare, let's talk about sun breathing real quick. Sun breathing is a breathing style known to be quite versatile and can be used for a multitude of different movements, and it increases your overall strength and speed according to Tanjiro. If storm breathing was a thing in Demon Slayer, it would be the closest thing to sun breathing, and would honestly probably fight with moon breathing for that second place spot. And to be fair, I don't think that if Zenitsu created this breathing, he would be able to master it that quickly. But because of its versatility, it would become much more powerful than just thunder breathing and wind breathing. If mastered completely though, storm breathing would make Zenitsu one of the strongest characters in all of Demon Slayer. Not stronger than Yoruichi though. Yoruichi is just a god. Alright. Now that we have defined what storm breathing is, let's dive into how Zenitsu would use it and what would change in terms of the impact he had with the final battle against Muzan and the Upper Moons. First off, he's destroying Kaigaku. There's no question. Absolutely murking this fool. He may have some trouble due to anger and not knowing of Kaigaku's demon abilities at first, but he will be able to finish the battle even faster than he already did in the manga. Problem is, Zenitsu will be 100% more drained from the fight and would need more time to recover. And I do feel like this would be the only drawback for Zenitsu, that he didn't master storm breathing. And to be honest, he shouldn't have either, since he's not the main character, and it would be kind of an ass pull for him to master storm breathing right off the bat. So my idea for storm breathing would be that, like Tanjiro's Hinokami Kagura, it provides a surge of power, speed, and versatility, but it also drains the user's stamina just as quickly, which is why I see Zenitsu using storm breathing as a last resort. He used it against Kaigaku for revenge, and now he will save it against an opponent that is much more powerful than him, aka Muzan. Now, in the manga, we had Zenitsu go through a pretty tough time during that final push, as while most of the Hashira were down and out, him and Inosuke were able to keep up with Tanjiro to try and contain Muzan. With Zenitsu having storm breathing, I'd say he'll actually be able to pull a lot more weight than he did before, and with his help, might push Muzan to the edge in order to truly defeat him. But here's the catch. Zenitsu wouldn't have enough energy to even help with what comes next, with Tanjiro being the new Demon King. So we would have to rely more on Giyu and everyone else in order to stop him. And who knows if we could. Honestly, looking back, I think this whole storm breathing idea for Zenitsu would have been amazing, since it would then emphasize that each of the characters in the main trio would have their own sort of mastery of breathing. First, we have Inosuke being able to create beast breathing and completely master it. Then swiftly we move to Tanjiro, who's able to use water breathing at first, then use other breathing styles when needed, like sun and thunder breathing. And then finally, we get to the main man of the hour in Zenitsu, who could have brought two styles into breathing as one. And each of these experiences also reflects on their own respective characters, with Inosuke being resourceful and unique, to Tanjiro having the determination to master breathing in every form. And then Zenitsu is shaped with the duality of his mind, with both courage and fear. Storm breathing would have been that final push for Zenitsu in this last arc, and with his character struggling with the battle between fear and bravery, it would have pushed Zenitsu to victory, becoming a true warrior. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you'd like to see more anime content, do be sure to subscribe. Hope everyone had a great day and has a great day. See ya!